So in Bungie's weekly newsletter this week at Bungie, we got some sandbox previews. And today I'm just going to talk about my thoughts. I'm going to try not to read these verbatim because you can read these yourself. Maybe stick to the clip notes, the spark notes, whatever you want to call them, the summary. And I'll just give you my thoughts on these. So aggressive hand cannons changed from a 110 RPM to a 120. This is obviously good. Those needed to help. Aggressive, adaptive hand cannons now have their damage fall off changed. So you can read right here. Fall off was for 100. Now starts at 25, was 20. So now the range stat matters a little bit more. I don't care about a precision hand cannon magazine buff. I'm not using those because the magazine. Here's the big one. This is what everyone wants to hear about. This is a 150 RPM lightweight hand cannon is now changed to a 140 adaptive. And so, looking at my character, this means the Dire Promise changes from a 150 lightweight, and lightweight's a huge perk, to an adaptive 140. Lightweight's already had better everything, a better TTK, and higher base stats, and most importantly, better aim assist. Sometimes you got an adaptive with better base stats. But now that they lose the lightweight bonus, this means that you now have to flip where your shotgun goes. So pay attention here. This is the super suit build. It has 10 recovery, 10 intellect, and invisibly 10 mobility. You get that from traction adding an invisible plus 10, and your lightweight weapon adding an invisible plus 2. And yes, this is affected on your dodge cooldown. So since I can no longer get that from the hand cannon, the build's going to look like this. Adaptive main, lightweight, energy. You could even go your sword, like the hunter sword right here, to get that change. But I like to use a threat detector power weapon because it'll tell me when to dodge when someone's near me, so I can proc dynamo and distribution, which is the whole point of this build. This build's supposed to punish camping. So anyhow, lightweight, super important. Those hand cannons are losing out. But I still think hand cannons, despite that, will be the most dominant weapon. They already are. I have a couple example clips in a folder to show you what I'm talking about. I think this clip is worth a million words. So you'll see what happens. I'm about to duel with an auto rifle. So it's going to happen very soon. Right here. I have a hand cannon. I have better damage output. A worse time to kill, but a better damage output. What does the auto rifle user do to me to win? What can they do? There really isn't an option if I'm near cover. And for this reason alone, top level players will always use a hand cannon. There's no discussion. You really can't nerf them enough to make people switch to auto rifles, because that right there is what wins games. You do that as a team to people. That's what wins games. 140s sometimes have a better perk pool than their 150 counterparts. So this old fashioned looks fantastic, but if this Dire Promise turns to an adaptive, I still think this Dire Promise would be better, because Elemental Capacitor will increase the stability, opening shot aim assist, ricochet both range and stability, and hit mark is only an increase to range, and then the masterwork is an increase to range. This might have a better base and better aim assist. So it might all around be better than just getting these two. Might be. It might be close. I don't know which one I'm going to choose. I'm probably going to choose neither, because we have Ace of Spades. This was already an option, but it's more solidified. However, I think Thorn's going to be the best of all of them. Previously, you would run 6 resilience to counter Thorn. You would force them to 3-head you. If you don't have 6 resilience, it's 2 head, 1 body, and you burn out. If Thorn turns into a 140 RPM, resilience will not matter for Thorn. So the next best number to hit is 5, because 5 prevents a high impact aggressive sniper rifle from body shotting you with a damage booster like Empowering Rift, like Inertia Override, that kind of thing. 5 is that magic number. 6 and 7 is very helpful against shotgun duels, but specifically for the hand cannon, no resilience should be surviving Thorn, which makes Thorn maybe the best option, even over that. The exception would be if you play a jumping hunter or a floaty warlock, then yes, you want Icarus grip. But if you keep it even remotely grounded, the usual 3 suspects are probably your best call. Now on the subject of lightweight, keep in mind that Chaperone gets that inherent lightweight bonus, so I could run it with something like Nation of Beasts from the last Switch raid, and have a pretty strong perk set. This can have opening shot and explosive round. I have that roll, it's just not 1060, so I've been using this one. This one has kill clip. And 140s cannot 2-tap with kill clip unless they have like 0 resilience, and I still don't even know if that's 100% of the time. With the damage booster plus kill clip, it's a 2-tap. Obviously 110s are changing, and they could already do that. So like this Agamid right here would be 120, so it's going to have a faster overall TTK on that 2-tap Rampage. That's great. So maybe Sturm might be an option. I have a True Prophecy with opening shot and Rampage that will absolutely do the job. Another lightweight shotgun option is the Parcel of Stardust, but unfortunately that's getting sunset. And I'm only mentioning this because I want you to keep an eye out for this kind of shotgun in the future. This is as min-maxed as it gets. With 1 proc of Threat Detector, 1 stack of it, you have essentially maxed out handling, so quick draw. When do you need quick draw on your shotgun? It's when someone's close. When does Threat Detector activate? When someone's close. So what you can do is go Corkscrew, so it's a bump to all stats. Assault Mag or Acarize, doesn't really matter. And then any other perk here. It's like having a quick draw shoddy without quick draw, but you also get the lightweight bonus. So I thought that's worth mentioning since we're talking about adaptive combos. Also mentioned in the TWAB, Sunshot is not affected by this change, so it remains a 150. But again, same thing. If you're playing a floaty warlock or a jumping hunter, you probably want to stay away from Sunshot because you cannot get Icarus grip. I should also mention that 150 scouts are staying the same. So Polaris Lance was already good. Scouts, according to the TWAB, are getting an aim assist bump. And aim assist is what makes everything in this game consistent. Considering I already thought Polaris Lance was a top option, it just gets even better. However, there is one weapon that's even better than Polaris Lance, and I have tried to get it since the raid has came out. This is the Transfiguration Scout Rifle, and I truly believe it is the best in slot, best kinetic weapon in Destiny. You can get Kill Clip, Rampage, and Drop Mag on top of max range perks. So this means anywhere on the map, you can get a 3-tap, and then if you reload, you have a small window, especially with a Rampage spec mod, to get a 2-tap on a 150 RPM. That right there might push me into using a Scout, maybe even double primary if certain primaries are also buffed later down the line. And this is a key theme that I want to mention whenever I read these TWAB things. Bungie has a history of only giving us one piece of the puzzle. They will tell us all this without telling us that there's a lot of subclass changes or something like that that would impact a lot of these things. Like, for example, I don't like that 150 hand cannons are turning into 140s. Why? Because everything is dependent on each other. For example, movement speed, time to kill, recovery speed, map design, these all work in tandem for game balance to be there. I don't like that the TTK on hand cannon is slowing down because of something like Top Tree Dawnblade movement speed and map design around that, and special weapon strength, and sniper flinch. I mean, this might not be the best example, but this is an infuriating thing about PvP. This makes you want to uninstall when you're pacing your shots to shoot somebody in the head, and this just isn't enough. Look at that timing, peer-to-peer game. Okay, that happens all too often. You can be a better player, but you can get unlucky from time to time, and that feeling sucks. Let me boot this up again. So yeah, this might be only because there is something we don't know yet. Maybe Top Tree Dawn got slower. Maybe Stasis slows the games down so much that this TTK is more balanced. We don't know. So I'm going to reserve judgment for that for the future, but just know that my gut feeling tells me that this is a bad change because of special weapon strength. What this tells me is special weapons get to get away with cheating you out of a free kill that much easier. Okay, let's keep going. On the subject of sniper rifles, I know this was coming. Somebody said it in the comments section. Adjusted how aim assist affects sniper rifle zoom level. Lower scopes have less aim assist, higher scopes have more. That's pretty much what you needed to know there. Let's look on this dim to show you what I'm talking about. Oh, there we go. Supremacy, 40 zoom. Beloved, 40 zoom. What's the other one? Garden of Salvation snipe. It's around here somewhere. Omniscient Eye. I grinded a while for this. It's a 40 zoom. I think 40 zooms might not be the call. And the reason for that is because aim assist ties to consistency. And I run Icarus grip on most of my snipers. What this does is the high aim assist of most 40 zooms and the way it works with Icarus grip means at a certain distance, your jump shots are extremely consistent. Like 90+% consistent. Now, that might not be the case. So to get that same playstyle, you might have to go for a higher zoom, which means it's going to open the floodgates to something like a 45, maybe like an Eye of Soul, which can have Vorpal Weapon on an adaptive. You can have Opening Shot on an adaptive, and you can have Firmly Planted and Opening Shot on an adaptive. Keep in mind, Borealis is the analog to this. In the energy slot, it has 45 zoom and insane base stats. Like, you are not supposed to get that on an aggressive sniper rifle. These are adaptive stats on an aggressive, which is why I think I might use Borealis more moving forward. However, there are more options. Trophy Hunter is a 50 zoom. I just don't have one with Snapshot, so I can't exactly warrant using it, since I do think Snapshot makes a big difference in sniping. Izanagi's is 45, which means if you're going to use Borealis, you might as well get used to Izanagi since they're going to feel fairly similar. Other than that, as for sniping, I think I kind of have to wait until there's new snipers released. I don't feel comfortable sticking to Omniscient Eye and Supremacy, and I don't exactly feel comfortable being stuck on Trophy Hunter. So it might just be Borealis, and I cross my fingers that either Bite of the Fox gets an ornament so I can get rid of that chevron, or I'm stuck with an adaptive for at least a little bit. This is one of the problems with sunsetting. You can't use your old weapons, because otherwise, I think I have Show of Force. Yeah, this one right here. This has Zoom 55. You can also roll for different scopes, of course. Snapshot, explosive rounds, very good. I like the way the scope looks. I would have probably stuck to that. Remember, Arbalist is not a sniper rifle, so it's not affected by this. I still think a sniper's better, but like I said, aim assist ties to everything. So, try this out on day one, but my gut tells me 40s aren't the call. Alright, let's go back in game, double check my inventory, show you any of these if I need to. I think that's about it. Chat, do you think I'm missing anything? Auto rifles, 600 RPM, nerfed from almost 16 damage to a little over 14. That's great. That lets the other archetypes work a little bit. And in tandem with that hand cannon change, it might feel better universally. The scout rifle aim assist, like I mentioned. Rockets now get increased reserve, which is funny because I run rocket. It's a terrible rocket. I run it with a rampage spec just so people think I'm a noob. And yeah, I run a rocket because it's very simple. You pick up power, you waste your one rocket, and you get back to playing the gun game. If we get 2 now, I'm going to switch my perks. I might go for the Sleepless again. Let me go see if I still have that. Okay, well, I used to have a... No, I do have it, I think. So shoot for something with field prep, and maybe even run a backup mag on these on day 1 of this change, because you might get 2 rockets per pickup, which is really good. Keep in mind, you can also get field prep and auto-loading holster on some archetypes and specific rocket launchers. So that is a nutty combo, because you just pull this off the wall, you shoot your rocket, you go back to your primary while it reloads. I think that's the way to run it, especially if backup mag works as I think. Alright, now I think that's everything. I'm scrolling through chat, and I do think I covered most of the gut reactions and whatnot, so let's continue. Something about Merciless, Outlaw got a slight bump. Mountaintop might be killed, at least for the high level. For the low level, it's still going to be obnoxious, I promise you. But you're not losing because of Mountaintop. You're losing because you're making bad decisions. For Mountaintop, aerial play is the answer to outplay it, and it just so happens that the strongest class in the game is built all around aerial play. So Mountaintop doesn't have as much of a place as you think, even now. But after this nerf, I think it's done. And the reason for that is reduced in-air accuracy. 7 degrees is a lot for going for that direct impact, because they also reduce the splash and projectile velocity, making it even harder to hit that direct impact. So all 3 of these in tandem is going to make it super inconsistent to the point where you might as well use the already easier sniper rifle. Falling Guillotine nerf. PvE. Cool, more options. Mida multi and mini tool. Mini tool now has kill clip and hipfire crib. Drang now has accurized and moving target. That's excellent. Let me show you my Destiny item manager real quick. I already had some. I actually have my old Drang, or whatever you call it, from year 1. So you can see this had the Together Forever perk. And then on this one, it's Inherence. This one is, of course, Quick Draw Rampage. I think another one is Quick Draw Swash. And then there's this one, which is Disruption Break and Rampage. Disruption Break is nutty. It's a shame we don't get that combo moving forward, because with that 120 buff to 110s, Sturmdrang would have been nuts. But moving target is still a pretty good choice. Let me double check. Yeah, so it's going to be a Rampage moving target. That's an okay choice. It really is. The Effigy Linear Fusion, aerial melee 25% reduction. I have never used the thing. I still need to obtain it. Arbalest no longer strikes shields multiple times, but its efficacy against shielded targets has been increased. Now, this interests me for PvE. Jade Rabbit, I don't think this is a good change. Armor piercing for high cal. If it stops snipers, absolutely, but I don't believe that high cal rounds stop snipers. I think you're just as likely to flinch someone into your head. The reason armor piercing rounds on Jade Rabbit is good is because, let's read the perk. Let's start thinking about what realistically happens in these games. See if I even have Jade to begin with. Yes. Alright, let's read the perk. Chain body shots to gain bonus damage on your next precision shot and return ammo to the magazine. So if you're using armor piercing round and people cross and you hit a headshot and a body shot at the same time, the perk activates. And the way people play so globbed together in PvP, this happens more often than not. I would almost say because it's an exotic, it deserves to have both armor piercing and high cal at the same time. I don't like flinch in primary gunfights though, to be honest. I like flinch against sniper rifles, where it flinches them off my head, not onto it. I hope that's clear. Now past that, Adept weapons in trials. The problem with this is they're saying they're adding plus stats for Adept weapon, but also an Adept mod. But the problem with an Adept mod would be that it's taking the position of Icarus, which for console and MNK players alike, Icarus is so strong. In-air accuracy is everything in a game that keeps you so grounded. So I don't see those ever being used. On some weapons, maybe. Like, I feel like you can make a case on the fusion rifle. For example, let me look for this. Mine has firmly planted multi-kill clip, liquid coils, and chambered compensator with stability. So stability is already 52. If I have a mod that increases stability even more, awesome, thumbs up, that makes it a better gun. Because you might get more bang for your buck out of that stability than you would with the Icarus, even in the air. Adept Icarus would be kind of cool, for sure. That's a really good suggestion, chat. Maybe Adept Icarus is a thing. But the way I understood this is it looked like it was going to be a stat package. As long as it can be better than Icarus, it will be used. If it's worse than Icarus, it probably won't be except on a fusion rifle. And I think that's everything. So to summarize, I might even just put a TLDR skip in the comment section at the very beginning so that when someone scrolls to the comment to type up something very salty, they see the TLDR and click on this instead. Alright, TLDR is special weapons and movement speed in the Crucible is a little bit too fast, so seeing TTK fall universally is a little bit disheartening, but we don't know how stasis works yet, so we're going to have to wait and see as usual. Alright, see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video.